Back to Gear's confusion. Incoherent thoughts that have lapsed to where consciousness cannot find the reason for why it is here. Desires burn deep, they churn and grind, they whisper secrets in your ear. As you saunter along, your toes gripping the sand, the waves you hear, gently lapping your feet and toes. The moon is rising from the sea, your whole body from head to toes feels the gentle breeze from the sea, warm and cool, its sultry touch beneath the black, velvety sea. With stars so near, you reach and touch, and you have them, you know them well, just as well as your lover's touch. Her hand in yours, it is swell, and the two are one with the stars. But then you fall into the well, the sun rises, hiding the stars. Your lover is gone, she has fled, back to space to be with the stars. You're left alone with what she said, I love you, I do, you are mine. And it brings you back from the dead, and you search, looking for a sign she was here. Footprints in the sand wash away beneath the tide's line, and then you hear the singing sand singing the song it sang for you when you first met her in the sand, when it was just the two of you. But desire whispers yet again, whispers secrets only for you, wanting to know where you have been. It tells you your excuse is weak, you disagree, but then again, that secret is something you seek. Those words of love are falling flat, the ones your lover once let leak from her tender heart, now a mat at your door, forgotten, faded. So you pull down your wide-brimmed hat, the cold winter sun is shaded, with passion steaming, burning, in its shallow fire you waited. Now the sea of fire is churning, its waves they tickle and they lick, until there's no more discerning the good from what you once thought sick. And now it all seems not so bad, surfing red-hot waves with the quick and the dead, riding high and rad under a supernova star. Vomiting volcanoes spew mad magma waves that mangle and mar the pillars of earth with the mayhem and mischief. Boiling lakes of tar spit out tar balls like wads of phlegm from diseased lungs, capturing whole dinosaurs and swallowing them, coating them in black liquid coal, scalded, bald, and suffocating. Every last remaining breath stole as they sink in, marinating in a stew, far-flung future brains, hell-bent on incinerating themselves with suicidal rains of skulls and crossbones glowing green, will chisel out with sore back pains, just in time to help humans glean a view of their small eked-out place in the milieu of leaves of green, purple and red, flowers that face the sun or hide in clouds of shade, among the high billowing race of trees winnowing to a glade of palms, fronds, orchids, and sawgrass, where mossy mats and mangroves fade to palm trees and sandy shores, glass-clear turquoise waters, coral caves where mollusks and fish play en masse, jellyfish and eels swim in droves, vegetation mats aimlessly float, biologic treasure troves for barren islands hopelessly lost at sea, and ticking time bombs of invasive life thoughtlessly trying to survive on dear mom's bountiful bosom, biding time until their future pogroms and mating frenzies let them climb the ladder of fitness and health, and then establish a new rhyme with nature and bring new wealth to a relationship that drank toxic shock cocktails for its health, smoked stacks of poison gas, ate rank industrial sludge, all for gain of plastic smiles, a piggy bank stuffed with rotting pork. Yes, insane. Koyaanisqatsi, that strange word, it floats around inside Gear's brain, surfacing like a single bird from a lush forest canopy, when down below danger is heard, gently floating with entropy. Gear comes back to behold his church, the living pillars, canopy crawling with hidden life. His church where his soul finds its peace and rest, free from the constraints of both church and state, free from the moral pest of ridiculous rules from past civilizations, that one guest who is drinking a bit too fast and speaking a bit too freely. But still, he loved her to the last. She was gone, but still not really. His passion for her still burned bright. He was never touchy-feely, but around her it was a fight to be what he thought was himself. She was married, it was not right. He could only think of himself and her. All vows melted away when he thought of her and himself. This love he knew it could not stay. His passion was volcano hot. But what was it she used to say? In the end, I fear we will rot. The lust you have, it must be fought. Our hearts must love, our bodies not. And so it went. His lust was fought. Impassioned flames consumed the wood with that which can never be bought. But she was still gone. Gear stood alone. Dukkha. Keep molten gear, he tells himself in this wood. You'll live. There ain't no need to fear. And the tsunami of salty water, tear by tear, washed his grief out into the sea. Magnapolis. Martel, the Red King. He knew well the histories of this once free land, how it collapsed with the spell of termed progress. His ancestors named it Koyaanisqatsi, a hell that seizes the mind till it's tamed like a slaughterhouse cow, weak, dumb, ignorant of pastures, disclaimed from kindred connections that some distant ancient cow worked so hard to achieve, reduced to a crumb. But the green-eyed lunatic bard did not seize good all of the way. Every deck carries a wild card, and many of them fought to play their hand. Death engulfed the 19, that century of black dismay, 2 world wars and much more unseen. Lunatic progress juxtaposed with calculated death and clean smiles and bloated bellies. Reposed tourists and red-eyed terrorists, and the drawbridge of heaven closed. And among all these flying fists and spitting mad, angry men, red in face and never embarrassed, were scientists and saints who fled from the evil. They kept the sight of love inside. Hope was not dead inside. They had another fight, their own left path, their own drumbeat. In the tunnel dark they saw light, and it was not a train. On their feet they stood, helping humans in need, and opening our eyes to greet the wonders of our earth, that feed our souls. Nature, she is a treat that can demolish human greed. And those who saw nature replete with wonder fought with love, hope, and brains, and courageous hearts to defeat the steaming force driving the trains, screaming out of a rusty past with captives and shackles and chains, while outside, zooming blurry fast, is gentle nature, quiet, calm, getting smacked by the engine's blast. They fought Agent Orange and Napalm, DDT and the chimpanzee capturers, singing a new psalm of man's place in nature's vast sea of white squalls, waters blue and clear, stretching into planetary space to quietly disappear, while beneath the hilly ocean pink coral caves and fish appear in a mosaic of motion, while the distant rumbling tide echoes with the quiet commotion, as sailing ships silently slide out of sight, never to behold the wonders that so loudly cried to minds entrenched in oil and gold, taming nature so man could thrive, free of mom's umbilical hold, pushing limits, focused, alive. Spinning far out beyond the edge, bewildering the senses 5 and leaping over the ledge. Yes, humans came to dominate mom, crushing her legs with a sledge in an attempt to amputate her octopus grip from our drive to survive and to procreate. And humanity came alive, defining existence in myth and lore and legends that survived the onslaughts and plots of the Sith, those hags so frantic to control human freedom, our inner pith, that which we call spirit and soul, twisting the wisdom from on high to subjugate me to a role, a lie that daily makes me cry, because I know it is not true. Within I suffer from the lie that convinces me of its view, keeps me from loving, reaching out to embrace love that surges through. Martel knew what this was about. The old pendulum was swinging like a warhammer, quick and stout. The bell it strikes will be ringing declarations of liberty, for the last time the brave dinging no more from coast to coast or sea to sea. Freedom will be no more, subsumed by Renfrey's tsunami, leaving a dry, infertile shore. Yes, they are ruthless, cold, and cruel, but the bald eagles will soar in storms where Thor's hammer strikes bold. Wet, howling winds, lightning and thunder will not dash our hopes, will not hold us captive in our homes under blankets. The free will dare to ride the bolts of light and surf thunder, spreading their wings and talons wide, screaming as they missile to meet their prey, eyes locked as they collide, no fear, thinking not of defeat or glory, single-minded, blind to all things not beneath their feet and wings. Like this now ancient kind, Martel was ready to face down these invaders. He would remind himself that deep beneath his frown was a green shoot of plant rising from the melting snow and the brown. For now there was no disguising his grief, but he was ever brave, the great spirit within rising. Tonight his men would dance and wave their weapons to the deep drum beat, echoing it from the deep grave, keeping it dancing on its fret, keeping it dancing on its feet, sending it into tomorrow, where the children will feel its heat. Back to Creeple. Creeple watches the madness grow, laughing as he stirs the liquid silver, stirring gentle and slow, gazing deep into its fluid motion, watching it undulate, its surface silk smooth as he slid his finger through to penetrate the soft silver, so hypnotic. Fingers crept in to separate the sinuous shapes, strange magic, forming perfect spears floating slow on the silver smooth, lunatic surface. They move with slow motion and alluring as they melt in the surface smooth edge.